Hey, what up, folks? It's Tony Wiggins here with Locked On Jags, live from Mobile. Good stuff down here. Met a lot of people. Had some interviews with a couple of prospects. One from Jacksonville, one from Gainesville. We'll talk about that in just a second here on Locked On Jaguars.
You are Locked On Jags, your daily Jacksonville Jaguars podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's going on, good people? Welcome to Locked On Jaguars, your daily podcast covering the Jacksonville Jaguars. I am Tony Wiggins, your host. We are free on all platforms and wherever you get your podcast, and we thank you for making us your first listen. I got to let you know that today's show is brought to you by Get Upside. Just download the free Get Upside app and use the promo code Touchdown to get 25 cents per gallon or more cash back on your first tank. All right, man. So this is the last day for me in the Senior Bowl. I'm about to hit the road and make my way down I-10 East and head back to Duval. And it's been a very eventful week. Of course, you guys know the one thing that happened was I had to answer a lot of questions from a lot of people, and I don't have the answers. So it was all about the coaching search, all about what the Jaguars are going to do. Don't even worry about what I almost just called them because I got tongue-tied. I did not do that on purpose. But what the Jaguars are going to do in terms of the coach, and my answer to everyone was, I have no idea or clue what they're going to do. The thing is, man, it's just been dysfunctional. You guys know that, and it's been something that it's got to be the weirdest thing I've ever covered in terms of the who, what, when, where, and how, and it's almost to the point where I'm just like everybody else, where I just really want to sit and wait to see what happens because nobody knows what's going to happen, and that's the hard part for us. Nobody knows what they're thinking. No one knows if they're thinking at all. And that's the difficult part of trying to answer those questions. But trust me, every single place I went, I even bumped into people who used to work in Jacksonville, coaching and media-wise, and they just looked at me like, man, there's something that people don't get. Fans have a different outlook and a different frustration. My outlook and frustration comes from the fact that I can't give you the information that you want because I don't know, and it's unpredictable. I also get frustrated as a person that covers the team with the amount of misinformation and the bad messaging. And when fans are frustrated, who they blame things on and them not knowing the inside scoop or the truth, that's frustrating. But in terms of covering the team, I don't get frustrated about stuff like this because these podcasts and these stories and these narratives make themselves. So from that point, when folks were coming up to me down here saying, this has got to be frustrating. No, the hell it ain't. It ain't frustrating to me. Doesn't bother me one bit. Not that way. Not the way that I think sometimes people put me in the same shoes as a fan, and I'm not going to be that. So we'll see on the coaching front. What I did down here was, though, try to make it a normal thing for me to just give you some information on some players. So I talked to a couple of players yesterday. One of them just absolutely blew. Well, both of them were great guys, right? I got personal with one of them, Majay Sanders, who's the edge rusher from Cincinnati. We're going to play that for you in segment 3. But in segment 2, Damien Pierce. And everybody knows I'm a Florida State supporter, and I'm not an alumni. I didn't play, of course, but I'm a Florida State supporter and a fan of Florida State. And I've told people over the years that what I do is separate that. Once a guy graduates, I don't care that he played at Florida State. I don't care that he played at a rival. He's just a human being to me. Damien Pierce probably, and you didn't hear it all because I didn't record it all. In 15, 17, maybe, I guess I started doing this in like 2001, so that's 20 years. He probably got to me. It felt like when I talked to him, I went to church. And I'm going to play some of that interview for you because the Jags are in the market for football players at every single position. And I just think you'll find a little bit of some of the things that he spoke on to be interesting and to be kind of uplifting. And I think that's what you need. And I think the Jaguars need an infiltration in their locker room of guys who think that way. So I'm going to play that for you guys, you Gator fans that happen to also be Jaguar fans. And if you're not a Gator fan, I think you'll still like it. And then Myjai Sanders straight off the north side from Hilltop. We know some of the same people. I tried to make the kid feel comfortable and have fun with him and let him know. He was the first person I sought out because we do have some common people. I had never met him before, but there are people that are common. And he also was very engaging. And it kind of reminds me, when you watch his playing style, of a lankier version of Yannick Ngakoue. And I think when he grows into his body, at some point he's gonna start looking like Aldon Smith. That's what you're gonna get from him. So he had a good day too. Both of the guys I mentioned actually had a good day too after I interviewed him. So it's gonna be fun for me to bring that to you here today on Locked On Jaguars. Again, I have no new news on the coaching front in terms of what they're going to do. I know the same thing that you guys know, and that is that they interviewed Doug Peterson, that they're talking about bringing in Rick Spielman as the GM or the senior vice president or executive vice president or whatever the title is going to be. But people are still curious as to what did that mean for Trent Baalke and what direction this team will go. I did find out a little tidbit. I did not know that Trent Baalke coached Todd Wash. He used to have a whistle in his mouth. He coached Todd Wash in college. So that was interesting for me to find that out last night. By the way, both Todd Wash and Mark Brunell told me to tell Jaguar fans hello. All right. So we got that out. They said hello. And I hope you guys really, people were wondering, do you guys miss all of those guys because this level of dysfunction is even higher? You'd have to answer that one for yourself. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back. We're going to talk about some prospects, some things that I saw, some people that could probably help the Jaguars moving forward. And we'll do all of that in just a second here on Locked On Jaguars. I am Tony Wiggins, and I'd first like to tell you about an incredible app everyone who buys gas needs to know about. It's called Get Upside. My listeners are earning cash back every gallon of gas every time they fill up. Just download the free Get Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now. Use the promo code Touchdown for 25 cents per gallon or more on your first fill up. Cash back. That's right. Don't pay full price at the pump anymore. Get cash back using Get Upside. Just download the app for free and use the promo code Touchdown for 25 cents per gallon or more on your first tank. Some people who drive a lot are making as much as $200 or $300 a year in cash back. And there's no catch to that. The cash back gets added right to your account. You can cash out at any time to your bank account, PayPal, or e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use the promo code Touchdown. It's a good promo code. We like to see a lot of touchdowns around here. Use the promo code Touchdown to get started on your savings. All right, welcome back to Locked On Jaguars. Shouldn't say welcome back because I know you didn't go anywhere. We appreciate you guys for making us your first listen every single day here on Locked On Jaguars. I got to tell you about it's Super Week, man, and it's brought to you by Get Upside, and there's no better place to get coverage of the big game than the Locked On NFL podcast. Locked On NFL, Locked On Bengals, and Locked On Rams will be in LA all week covering the big game. I'm Locked On NFL. I came to Mobile. I can't go to LA. So me and James host and it's fun for me because James Rapine is at the Super Bowl. He's with Locked On Bengals. He's also my co-host on Locked On NFL on Wednesdays. So it's a little bit of an exciting period for me, and I know it's an exciting period for him. So you guys are going to get good coverage from Locked On NFL all week, represented at the big game. How about that? Prospects. Jermaine Johnson from Florida State. I know there was a lot of people thinking he was going to make it to the top of the second round where the Jaguars will be picking. It ain't happening. Jermaine Johnson, who played at FSU, who transferred in from Georgia, is every bit of 6'4.5", 6'5", yoked, ready to go, body ready to play right now. He will not get past. I don't think he's going to get past the first half of the first round. Even though with all of the other guys at the top, I think that kid can play, man. And he has dominated the practices. He was on a gimpy ankle yesterday, and he still showed himself to be something else, man. So for all the people that's been doing the mock drafts and have been trying to get that edge rusher with that second or the second round pick that the Jaguars have, you can probably scratch him off the list because it isn't going to happen. I'll tell you a kid, though, who might end up in Jacksonville, and it's because even though the Jaguars don't need a running back, and I know you don't take a running back high, there are just some folks, man, that really, really, really um, I'll just say it like this. There are some people that just are infectious in the way that they go about their business, and one of them is one guy that I heard from is Damien Pierce. Damien Pierce is someone that I did have a chance to speak to yesterday, and the infectious nature of how Damien Pierce is and who he is, man, I'm telling you, it just absolutely blew my mind with uh, the way that he spoke, how he moves about his business, his attitude when it comes to the type of individual he is and who he wants to be as a football player, how he played at Florida. It absolutely, I was just blown away. And I'm not really the type of guy to be blown away by guys when it comes to um, how they go about their business, because they're all kids to me. But he absolutely impressed me yesterday, and he was one of those guys that I think if the Jaguars are lucky, they're going to be able to they're going to be able to get a kid like that. I'm having trouble with the audio. I wanted to bring that up for you, but he was really, really, really impressive yesterday at Moby. I asked him about uh, his usage not being as high as some people would like. And man, from his first answer, his very first answer was like, "Hey, man, it's what it is, and I'm not worried about that." And I love my school, and it's when you love your school and you love playing football. He even mentioned this. He said, if I'm pouting about playing time, if I'm pouting about these things, what would the young kids or the other guys on the roster think? And yeah, I can't pull the audio up right now, but I'll try to share that with you guys later. He was just like, if I'm pouting, what does that mean for the other players? And I was like, wow. And he said, I love my school. I love the competition. I love playing. And guys would probably hit the transfer portal if you're being selfish. We can compete with the other team without having competition amongst ourselves. So he's from Bainbridge, Georgia, and he wanted me to let y'all know that that's right across the state line from Tallahassee. So he could have went to FSU, but he didn't. He went to Florida. He is an absolute asset. And if you follow me on social media, what I'll do is I'll upload that audio. I'll upload that audio to Twitter. For some reason, I can't get it on here today. But he was outstanding yesterday. And then he went out and had a very, very good practice. So any team that gets that kid is going to get someone who is absolutely a great locker room guy. And he doesn't have a lot of tread on his tires because he didn't play as much as people would like at the University of Florida. I cannot believe I cannot get this audio, and I'm highly, highly ticked off right now. But I will put that out there separately on another tweet for you guys to enjoy that interview. All right, so we're going to talk about the interview that I had with another prospect, and that prospect is actually from Jacksonville, Florida. His name is Myjai Sanders. He's a 6 foot. He looks like he's about 6'5". I guess he's listed at 6'4". He's 6'4", and he runs about. I would say his size is about 250-ish, 255. And very, very long arms and very, very broad shoulders. So I'll tell you what happened between in our conversation too here in just a second on Locked On Jaguars. First of all, I do want to let you guys know about BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before as football continues its march through the playoffs. Right to the big game in a couple of weeks. BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all of your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. And it's just not football. It's not just football. BetOnline has up-to-the-minute info on pro, college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, along with live real-time updates of current games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the new amazing offers. available for the 2022 season. BetOnline is where the game starts. I want to tell you also about rockauto.com. Now, I'm about to hit the road and make a 6.5, 7-hour ride back to Duval, and I couldn't do that if I didn't have the parts that I need on my vehicle. I save money and time when I use Rock Auto. And why choose to spend 30, 50, and sometimes even 100% more on the same parts from a chain store or car dealership when you can order online with Rock Auto? Now, Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. Now, I'll tell you, I don't do it myself. I pay for the parts, and then I pay somebody separately to put them on my car because you do not want me working on vehicles. So what you need to do is go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck. Right, Locked On in the How Did You Hear About Us box. And that'll let them know that we sent you. So there's amazing selection, reliably low prices. All the parts your car will ever need, and accessories, by the way, are at rockauto.com. All right, talk to a little edge rusher who grew up on the north side in the Hilltop Apartments off of Moncrief. Name is Myjai Sanders. He's played at Cincinnati for the Bearcats for the last few years and was one of the key people in making that program what it is right now today. It's a very, very good program. And I'm going to show you this picture so you can see I'm 6 feet tall. Myjai standing behind me and has me by at least 6 inches there. So, and he has the frame. And when you look at his body, he has the frame and the setup to add some weight. Why am I telling you this? Is because the Jaguars need a young edge rusher to go along on the other side and play with Josh Allen. A lot of people think that they'll go edge rusher early in the draft. If they don't, they go Evan Neal, or they decide to move down and they go in another direction. Myjai is one of those guys who will possibly or probably still be hanging around at pick when the Jaguars pick in the second round. I think 33rd. So, there's a shot that, the Jaguars, if they want, they can go ahead and take a look at him there. Is he worthy? Let me tell you why the answer is yes. Because he had a very, very good start. He had a very good season. And then he had a very, very good start to his Senior Bowl week. The game still has to be played, but this kid looked good yesterday, man. He ain't the biggest guy in the world, but what he is he's a fighter. He's scrappy. And if you know guys that come from that side of town, and he played at Raines until his senior year, he went to Camden County. And he's a father to be. He says he's not going to the draft. He's going to stay home. He wants to be with his family and potentially be a guy who the Jaguars are able to get. And it would be nice. I asked him if he wanted to come home. He said, absolutely. He said, it would be nice. I'll go wherever they want me to go, but it would be nice to come home and play in my city and be a part of the resurrection of the football team here in Jacksonville. So I talked to Myjai Sanders yesterday. And he's extremely enthusiastic. A lot of people peg him as a guy who's going to play in a 3-4. But he's practicing with the Jet staff, and he's learning that 9-wide technique that you've seen guys have success in San Francisco, Seattle, and other places. And he says he likes to put his hand on the ground, and he likes to be a guy who creates a disadvantage for other people. So outstanding young man. Great interview I had with him yesterday. And I talked to him. I'll post that on Twitter too, along with this picture. And when you see it, you can get the full interview. Myjai Sanders, a guy who has an opportunity to possibly come back home and help the Jaguars get their act together. You'll get your act together with me, man, every single day here, because Locked On Jaguars is your team every day. And we thank you for making us your first listen. I have to tell you about the Locked On Bets podcast with your boy Q and analyst Lee Sterling. Before you make one wager, make sure you log on, find it, subscribe to it, like it, and listen to the Locked On Bets podcast, because they're going to give you information that you can't get any and everywhere else. All right, I'm going to take a long, slow ride. Keep it in the middle of the road. Be very, very careful on my way back to Duval. And hopefully, at some point this weekend, we'll have a coach and an understanding of what the structure of the Jaguars is going to be like. I thank you guys for joining me here on Locked On Jaguars every single day with your team every day, and we appreciate that, making us your first listen. And I am Tony Wiggins, and I'll be right back tomorrow with another episode of Locked On Jaguars.